Hello, this is Sensor Gambino here with a new video. In this video, I will be going over the Rockstar Newswire that was released today, October 22nd, 2021 for Grand Theft Auto 3's 20th anniversary. And it is about Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, and it is revealed to be having a release date. I believe it's only digitally though, for November 11th, so funnily enough, they actually give it the Steam release that Grand Theft Auto 5 Expanded and Enhanced was supposed to have. So that was a very interesting decision. Maybe this is why they kind of delayed it, or they really didn't bother with it as much as they should have. Something like that, but yeah. I did kind of want to play the trailer on full screen, but unfortunately with what I record with, I think I kind of have to do it through the little mini player here, not in full screen. So I will be doing that. However, yeah, there won't be any audio because copyright reasons. I know it's a thing for huge YouTubers mainly. I'm not sure about much of a smaller YouTuber like myself, but yeah, that's why there won't be audio, is because, yeah, I don't want to risk copyright. I know it's like a classical GTA 3 song, but still. But yeah, it was Las Venturas. I see they still kept the crouton 9000 Easter egg. Obviously I wasn't really expecting it to be removed, but it's very cool to be able to see that a little detail in there. It's Andreas of the Police Maverick and the VCN Maverick. I think both show up at very certain wall levels. Again, Las Venturas, and the other Las Venturas one was more the countryside parts, kind of. The 2-bit hit mission, whatever. That's the race. It was either the first race or second race in the countryside, kind of, that gets you the San Fierro garage, whatever. And yeah, I'm just trying to say a bunch of things kind of go along with this. Hopefully I'm doing alright with that, but yeah, it seems to be kind of wrapped up here. I followed the Trilogy, Definitive Edition, November 11th, for all those different systems and all. But yeah, that was basically the trailer there. I'll have the Rockstar Newswire linked, obviously, for anyone that might want to check that out, obviously, for any reason. But yeah, obviously there's still dialogue to go with the characters and stuff like that, but there's also classical music over it, I believe, from Grand Theft Auto 3. Since, yeah, these are technically classics, obviously, so yeah. Because of that, I didn't really want to risk playing it and having a copyright or something. But yeah. Anyways, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, coming November 11th. Which is partly true, but yeah, I think that's just digitally, as we'll be seeing later. For PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Rockstar Games Launcher. Pretty much all that's been known. First, huge thing in terms of the little paragraphs down here is the second paragraph. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, will be available digitally on November 11th. Through PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store on Xbox, and Nintendo eShop, and Rockstar Games Launcher. So yeah, it's only digitally, unfortunately, for the November 11th. Not sure why exactly they're releasing it separately, digitally and physically. I don't know if it helps with sales, getting more money for those who for some reason might want to consider getting digital to get the game early, and then physical to have a physical copy. I don't know, it might be some weird marketing strategy kind of thing or something. And then yeah, physical release for Xbox Series X and S. Okay, Xbox Series S does not have a disk drive, so I don't exactly see how that has a physical release. Though, I don't know, maybe they just decided to group the S in there with the X. And then Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and then PlayStation 4 on December 7th. So December 7th is the date for the physical release. Again, seems like a kind of weird marketing kind of strategy for why they would do this kind of thing or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of weird. The PlayStation 5 seems to be entirely left out in terms of a physical release. They don't seem to bring up a PlayStation 5 physical release at all. And I'm not sure entirely why that's the case, because Xbox Series X is clearly getting a physical release. I don't know, they're just neglecting the PlayStation 5 for some weird reason. I don't really know. But yeah, kind of weird because I think Xbox Series X also has $70 games, so if it's something with like $70 like physical games and stuff, then I believe Xbox does that too. So I don't exactly know why the PlayStation 5 was left out here, but yeah. Hopefully PlayStation 5 has a physical release, especially being a PlayStation 5 owner now myself, but yeah. A little screenshot here for Grand Theft Auto 3, the Definitive Edition. I think that's kind of the first official reveal of the logo. I kind of shut off this like logo here when going over the like trophy leaks for the like previous video I did for the Trilogy edition, the Definitive Edition, obviously. But yeah, it has the like red style free and kind of in line with Liberty City stories, which I don't think they've ever really done that before, so that's kind of a pretty cool touch with that one. And yeah, that's like the L train or whatever. Definitely looks pretty nice on this new version for sure. And yeah, by the way, just a little warning that might have a bit of controversial opinions for this version of the game, which I will be going into later. But yeah, experience the games that's... Well, actually, this one I don't remember having anything that significant, so I'll move on to this fourth one here. But yeah, bringing classic worlds of Liberty, Vice City, San Andreas, modern platforms, the Trilogy Definitive Edition debuts new Grand Theft Auto 5 inspired modern controls. So they will be modernizing the controls, which is definitely quite welcome and is definitely to be expected even for a remaster, I would say. Since I'm very certain these are more of remasters more than like full-blown remakes or anything like that. Yeah, plus across the board visual enhancements such as resolution upgrades, improved visual fidelity across the world, much more to faithfully tune and improve upon all three games while also maintaining their distinct original aesthetic. And yeah, from what I've seen from the trailer, I feel Grand Theft Auto 3 definitely still has some of that like dark and gloomy feels for sure. So I feel they did a great job with Grand Theft Auto 3. For having the like dark and gloomy feel still, they didn't really seem to take that away at least. So that's definitely very good. That's something I noticed right away. I didn't really notice too much with Vice City San Andreas. I'm not the best at paying the most attention to the like graphical differences and stuff, but yeah, I think for Grand Theft Auto 3 I can at least definitely notice that dark and gloomy atmosphere. It's definitely still very noticeable. But yeah, that's pretty much all for that one. Here we have Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the Definitive Edition. And it's basically just a little view by the Ocean View Hotel, aka like the first safe house property that's provided for free, not one of those you have to like buy separately. So yeah, it's kind of a little look at one of the like very early areas of the game. And then onto this paragraph here. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition introduces wide-ranging modern control upgrades, including improvements to targeting and lock-on aiming. Now this, I'm hoping the targeting and lock-on aiming, I'm hoping that means that like the pistol in the game could maybe be used to like get you higher up. Because the thing with the older ones, of course, was that, like, I think at least Grand Theft Auto 3 Vice City, there wasn't really much of, like, a priority lock-on system for, like, headshots. I think San Andreas, you could kind of, like, aim with headshots because of, like, the different, like, weapon skills and stuff like that, or whatever that could be unlocked over time with using different weapons. But for Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, I think they're definitely quite welcome for having the targeting and lock-on aiming systems. Though San Andreas already had some of that, so I'm hoping it will make it where like lower tier weapons could be used to get a bit further in the game before having to move on with like higher up weapons and stuff. So I'm kind of hoping that's what that kind of means with the targeting and then lock on aiming. And then update weapon and radio station wheels. So it sounds like we might definitely be getting Grand Theft Auto 5 style weapon wheels, which I definitely quite like. I like the classing system that it has of like the pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, melee weapons. There's the shotguns and heavy and then throwables. So I'm assuming it's going to be something like that, I would imagine. I feel that would be super weird for Grand Theft Auto 3, because I believe in the original Grand Theft Auto 3 you can already technically own all the weapons. But yeah, I'm hoping at least for Vice City and San Andreas, that means you won't have to like drop like weapons you already have to get new weapons. I'm hoping that kind of also means that you will be able to own all the different weapons at once. Because that wasn't really a thing with Vice City and San Andreas. You had to like get rid of like rocket launcher, for example, to have the flamethrower. And then yeah, you had to like get rid of like certain SMGs to get like another SMG, for example, in San Andreas. So I'm hoping with the updated weapon like wheel kind of thing or whatever, that means that you'll be able to own all the different weapons at one time, similar to what Grand Theft Auto 5 did, because that was quite revolutionary, I feel, for that game for sure. And then radio station wheels. That one is definitely quite welcome for sure. We want to just like use a wheel to get to the different radio stations, not having to like press up and down to cycle through the different ones, because that was definitely quite a small, like time-consuming thing, obviously, to be able to get to your favorite radio stations. I'm also hoping though that they do bring the like new feature they brought with like Los Santos tuners for Grand Theft Auto Online, where you can like disable certain radio stations and only have like the one or two you want. Unfortunately, I don't really see them doing that, because for me, the perfect ideal thing for like content creation purposes, because there's not a lot of like non-copyrighted music, is to, like for Grand Theft Auto 3, for example, to be able to do just head radio and then like Lips 106. Because I think all the music on the head radio and then Lips 106 for Grand Theft Auto 3, I think I heard is not copyrighted. So those would be a couple good ones, especially for content creators. So yeah, that would be something cool I would like to see with the radio station. We will also be able to disable certain things, which they did with the latest Grand Theft Auto Online update, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really seeing that. Updated mini-maps with enhanced navigation, allowing players to set waypoints and destinations. That's definitely going to be quite welcome this time around for sure. San Andreas, I'm pretty sure, has a GPS system in the original San Andreas, obviously. But yeah, I think the target on there, it just puts like a target on the map, and you know, I still have to like kind of know where to go. Vice City, I don't think had that at all. Grand Theft Auto 3, the original version of that, did not even have a like pause menu map. Vice City was the first to have a pause menu map for the 3D universe. And yeah, I don't really think the mobile versions added much of like a waypoint system for Vice City. Might be wrong on that, but yeah. That would definitely be quite welcome. Hopefully it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5, where it has like the actual like route you need to take on the like actual map, like on the mini map that's on there like while you're playing the game. Like I'm not expecting like a full-blown like GPS saying in this much distance turn right or something like that. I don't even think Grand Theft Auto 5 has that detailed of a GPS where it like has like a voice thing tell you that. I think Grand Theft Auto 4 has something like that. So I'm not expecting something as detailed as that, but at least like have like your actual like destination, like where to go for it on the actual like mini map. And that's what I'm definitely hoping for. And it does say mini map, not like straight up like pause mini map or something like that. So it does seem to kind of be the mini map, so that's definitely quite nice. Updated achievements, trophies, and more. Achievements and trophies, I've already kind of went over all those in the previous video, so if you want to know all the achievements, trophies, I have a video of that, where obviously there's way more other like sources and stuff out there for that stuff. If you want a little like sneak peek of what they are. And yeah, Nintendo Switch version will also feature Switch-specific controls, including gyro aiming, as well as touch screen camera zooming, pans, and menu selections. But yeah, that's kind of a huge highlight of the Nintendo Switch, is having like access to gyro aiming. I know like PlayStation 4, I think the PlayStation 4 control, I know that has like certain like motion control things. Like I think in GTA 5 there's like a thing you can turn on to have like aircraft kind of like motion controls, like moving around the controller. I don't know if that's technically full-on gyro aiming, but yeah. I guess Nintendo Switch might be the only system that has gyro aiming, so that's something quite nice that they will utilize that feature. I think it's a pretty cool feature of that, as far as I know. Touchscreen camera zooming, definitely quite nice. Then the other couple, in my opinion, for Switch don't necessarily sound most exciting there. And then the PC version includes support for an NVIDIA DLSS, so that's definitely quite interesting. I think they did that for Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe. I definitely believe they did it for that game, so it's definitely great that they will be doing it for the Trilogy edition, Definitive Edition as well. And it'll have additional new accomplishments via the Rockstar Games Social Club. The way they put it on there, it suggests that that's a PC version only thing, but when going into the website, it's not really much into platform exclusive features. So I might go in a bit more detail with that one later. And then yeah, additional enhancements across all 3 titles include completely rebuilt lighting systems, improved shadows, weather, reflections. Pretty typical stuff you would expect kind of for remasters, stuff like that, I imagine. Again, more of that kind of stuff, upgrade character and vehicle models, along with new higher resolution textures across buildings, weapons, roads, interiors, and more. Our the Trilogy Definitive Edition also features a range of environmental upgrades, including all new foliage, smoother surfaces, and increased draw distances to provide a new level of depth and clarity throughout the world. Yeah, I think pretty much all of that is kind of very typical stuff. And yeah, definitely a very night and day difference compared to their PlayStation 2 versions for sure, so I don't think I really need to explain much of the differences or anything with what I see in these images and stuff. I will still go over them in the slightest. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the Definitive Edition. Little image here of the main city. I believe just the maze bank of that game, of course, for sure. Which is definitely kind of a different look compared to the one that's in Grand Theft Auto 5, obviously. It's kind of a somewhat vastly different kind of look in a sense for those who for some reason never played it, but yeah. I definitely think the Grand Theft Auto 3 image was definitely the most impressive, having that L train. I think it was definitely pretty cool having that L train image there. The kind of city overviews for Vice City San Andreas are definitely kind of nice, but they're kind of typical as well, I feel. But yeah, into this paragraph here, and this is where I kind of get into a little bit of controversy in my opinion. But yeah, originally developed by Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition has been adapted to modern platforms like Grove Street Games using Unreal Engine to make these classics more vibrant and more immersive than ever, celebrating the legacy of the series that redefined interactive entertainment and helped propel video games to the center of culture. But yeah, that's a bit of a thing to break down, kind of, but yeah. Unreal Engine, I believe that's Epic Games that has that engine. They're the makers of the Unreal Engine, I'm pretty sure. AKA the company that makes Fortnite, whatever. That's kind of all I kind of know about them. So, kind of weird in my opinion that they didn't make their own engine for it if they didn't want to use the Rage engine or something. Kind of a weird decision in my opinion, using another company's engine when Rockstar has their own engine clearly that they use for other titles. Not exactly sure why that would be the case. Maybe Unreal Engine kind of gets closer to the looks of the original than what the Rage engine could do or whatever. Don't exactly know why they would use the Unreal Engine, but yeah. And then Grove Street Games, that's a bit interesting there. Pretty cool for a company to have a name literally Grove Street Games. Obviously goes well with San Andreas, but yeah. Definitely want to break that down a bit. Not saying the company is necessarily super shady or anything. I'm not hating necessarily on the company and just kind of giving a bit of criticism here, but yeah. They were formerly known as War Drum Studios, but yeah. War Drum Studios, why is Grove Street Games rural? And then War Drum Studios, why are they kind of bad? Well, they were kind of responsible for that very trash version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions. In my opinion, the mobile versions are passable that they do. I feel the mobile versions are definitely quite passable, in my opinion at least. But yeah, the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 versions of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas that they made, oh my goodness, those were just terrible. Like, you could tell right away when booting up the game that they did for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 version of San Andreas. It was literally like the mobile menu at the way beginning. Like, literally when you first started up, it's literally the like mobile version. So you could tell they literally like ported over the like mobile version to like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. And those versions, they're still a buggy mess years and years later. They never really bothered to like fix that version as far as I know. You can even play that version on the Xbox Series X and S, or at least you used to be able to. I know you still can, obviously, if you have it downloaded, but yeah, those versions, thankfully, I think are removed now. So yeah, that version was pretty trash. So yeah, Grove Street Games, they renamed themselves. They used to be Wardrum Studios, which was responsible for that pretty terrible version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So yeah, I'm a bit skeptical, kind of because of that, how good these versions will end up being. So yeah, that's the kind of like controversy side of things I'll be going into there. Hopefully I explained it good enough. If not, then there's a YouTuber I watch known as Vadim M. He has like videos about those like version whatever, assuming that's their gender and all, of course. But yeah. And then just a little couple small things here. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the Definitive Edition, will be with Xbox Game Pass starting November 11th. And then Grand Theft Auto 3, the Definitive Edition, will be available on PlayStation Now starting December 7th. So Xbox Game Pass getting San Andreas Definitive Edition November 11th, same day as the digital versions get released. And Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, PlayStation Now. That like streaming service for PlayStation, obviously. That will be happening as soon as the physical releases happen, or maybe like the day after or something like that. So very interesting, San Andreas, Xbox Game Pass, Grand Theft Auto 3, PlayStation Now. And yeah, expect to see more fun and special surprises celebrating 20th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 3, GTA Online, like this week's bonus baseball bat tee that commemorates the most memorable melee weapon. Like, oh gee, I wonder why it's the baseball bat. Because Grand Theft Auto 3's like only melee weapon was basically the baseball bat, or obviously fists. So not really any competition here, but okay. But yeah, now I suppose I'll go into the website here. I'll go into like pre-order stuff and stuff like that near the end, I suppose, since it's not that much. But yeah, they do have kind of a website here for the GTA Trilogy. And yeah, there's a countdown, I believe, if you look on the PC version. So I think PC version has like a dedicated time. Again, more on all that later. But yeah, obviously here's the trailer info. Info is basically just stuff that was already on the Rockstar Newswire. And yeah, obviously there's kind of new like screenshots and stuff, like certain models of like the like main protagonist, obviously Claude, Tommy Vercetti, and then Carl Johnson, obviously. And then yeah. Enhancements, here's where it gets into some details that the Newswire did not go into. But yeah. Improved gunplay, targeting controls with upgrade drive-by controls in GTA San Andreas. So it seems only Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for some reason, will be the only one getting upgraded drive-by controls. I don't know if the drive-by controls on that game are considered worse than Free and Vice City, I don't know. But yeah, apparently only San Andreas will get updated drive-by controls. Dang it, I don't really know if Free and Vice City had the most like drive-by controls, but yeah. Also, we already knew about weapon radio station selection wheel and then minimap stuff. The ability to immediately restart a failed mission. This one wasn't really mentioned, but yeah, in previous Wardrum Studio and Grove Street game, like mobile, like 10th anniversary editions, they did have the ability to immediately restart a failed mission. So that one's not necessarily the most surprising. But what I do also hope for is the ability to replay missions after you have already beat them, not have to like do a whole new like save file similar to what Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 have with like a mission replay feature. Maybe even throw in like some fun like challenge like gold medal objectives to go for it as well. I was kind of hoping for something like that, though it does not sound like there's something like that. But it says including, so of course there could technically be more once the game fully releases, obviously. But yeah, for those who don't know, going into a little tidbit of like the Elite Trophies achievements, Apparently this time around there will be trophies and achievements that require doing very particular objectives for certain missions. So obviously, yeah, the strategy might be to like purposely make yourself die if you don't get a like certain like objective, to then be able to restart a failed mission, assuming that doesn't like fail the like trophy achievement challenge. I was kind of hoping for more of a like mission replay feature, but yeah, who knows, that could be a thing in the final release that they're not really mentioning right now. And then yeah, plus new Rockstar Games Social Club accomplishments for members. That kind of leads me to believe there might be a way to link the Rockstar Games Social Club to the console versions as well. I'm of course certain that they already like allow that in like console versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and like Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, to link to the Social Club. So I'm kind of very curious what this accomplishment thing will mean exactly, because earlier with the Rockstar Newswire kind of suggested it was a PC only thing, but yeah. As you can see on the right here, it says stuff with platform-specific features, and it's not listed with the rest of those, so it seems to be like all across the board. Like, what's going to be the differences between the accomplishments compared to like the trophies and achievements? That's what I'm like very curious about. And enhanced visuals, that's pretty much like all the same stuff. There's a couple new ones in there, I believe, such as like the improved water. I think they mentioned weather, but not water. And then I think trees. I think they only mentioned foliage, not really the trees. But yeah, just a couple little small things that might be new with the visuals there. And then to the last little section here, plus platform-specific features, including 4K resolution support with up to 60 FPS performance for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X systems. Definitely glad to be one of the lucky bastards that will be able to have the 4K resolution, not to have a 4K TV or anything, but yeah, especially the 60 FPS, I'm definitely very happy for that. Because I do have a 9th generation system, I'm one of those lucky bastards, and it's apparently pretty hard to find, apparently, for these systems and stuff, but yeah. NVIDIA DLSS support for PC, they already talked about that one, and then these are all for the Switch, they already mentioned all of those. And then obviously the games have a little cool thing where like if you scroll, it kind of like goes to the different ones. All Stars in Liberty City, and that little description there. Vice City, welcome to the 1980s, that little description there. And then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it's the early 90s with its little description as well. And then last but not least, until like certain pre-order kind of things, is the screens. Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, there's a few, I believe, for each one. Obviously, there's the L-Train one. I think that one was, like, in the Newswire, though. Close up here with Claude, which is very cool, with, like, the micro SMG, which I think is, like, the only SMG in the game, because I think, like, almost every class had only, like, one weapon. So, yeah, again, I'm very curious how it will do the weapon wheel for Grand Theft Auto 3, considering that, like, there's not a lot of weapons for, like, each class for that game. So would it like be literally each category is just like the one option and stuff? That would be kind of interesting. Here you actually see like the LCPD, and yeah, they still have black police cars, so yeah, it's more of a remaster more than a remake, obviously, as expected. Like if it was a remake, I would have been curious if they would have went with like, I believe there was like a beta blue design that was supposed to be more reminiscent to the actual NYPD, but I think they changed it because of 9/11, or at least that's some speculation thing. I don't know if it's like actually true, but there definitely could be true for it, because I think there was changes to like 9/11 and stuff, but yeah. So yeah, definitely obviously more of a remaster than a remake, which is to be expected. Rockstar is more of a remastering company than a remake company for sure. Here's the image here of like a banshee, and then obviously the police car and stuff. And then the flamethrower. Could we please get a flamethrower for Grand Theft Auto Online, Rockstar? Like, hopefully with them like having like these versions of these games coming out, hopefully that kind of opens up like more cool opportunities for new weapons. At least for expanded hands, it would be cool to have the flamethrower that they've been neglecting since the HD universe has started. Like, I would love to see the flamethrower in the HD universe finally. But yeah, very cool there. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition. Again, I think like the first ones seem to just be the ones that are on the Newswire. But here's Tommy Vercetti in front of the Ocean View Hotel here. That model looks very good, but yeah, This one, I'm not a fan of. If there's like one look so far in this whole like group of stuff I'm not a big fan of, it's this image here. I don't know, something with those fingers and stuff. I don't know, it just doesn't look the greatest. And then this image here with Tommy Vercetti on like the motorcycle. Tommy in like Land's Vans with the M4s and Rub Out, I believe that is. With like taking over the Vercetti estate, which before it was the like Diaz mansion or whatever. And then Griffith's Andreas. This one actually wasn't in the newswire, but I feel the other two were in the newswire for like the first images for these games. That's like obviously like one of the lowriders, whatever, in Grove Street. Obviously CJ here next to like another kind of lowrider kind of thing as well. The dirt bike with like fire and stuff like that. I don't entirely remember what this mission was exactly for. I don't know if this was like the just business mission or something. But I don't think it's just business because I don't see Big Smoke on the motorcycle as well. But yeah, not entirely sure what the mission is, but if someone knows, and I don't really care if they mention it or not. And yeah, Sweet here doing a drive-by, stuff like that. And then yeah, the whole entire like gang here. This might be like the beginning of the like infamous like drive-through mission, whatever, with Big Smoke's order. I don't know. That's my guess at least. And yeah, last but not least, kind of like pre-order stuff here. But yeah, PC version pre-order $59.99. They are charging $60 for this version, so it's kind of like similar to this like Super Mario 3D All Stars that was a thing. They did like free games, $60. That's kind of similar in style to that. But yeah, $60 for PC, $6 PS4. Xbox, it seems to be for Xbox in general, $59.99, $60. It's weird that Xbox in general is listed here, but PS4 and PS5 is separate, which is kind of weird. They are kind of neglecting the PS5 in some ways, it seems. And for whatever reason, the Switch does not seem to have a price for its pre-order. It seems to have like a dedicated countdown as well, similar to PC. Not sure why exactly that's the case, but yeah. And then PS5 pre-order. So, like, I think they said this, which was getting a physical version, but is the PS5 getting a physical version? I would like to know, Rockstar, because I think in that, like, one thing I mentioned earlier, like, kind of in the first 5-10 minutes, maybe, I think they didn't even list the PlayStation 5, so kindly give us a PlayStation 5 physical release. And please let it not be $70 since they are like kind of making $70 a normal thing for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. But yeah, very curious, especially with the PS5, what's going on in terms of like the physical version at least. But yeah, game details. The top part's pretty much the same as the newswire, but just the bottom parts here is new. And there's a little offer if you get it on like the Rockstar Store or the Rockstar Games Launcher. If you purchase it on either of those by January 5th, 2022, you will get $10 off a product priced to $15 or more, not counting exchange rates or whatever, and this count expires on the 16th, 2022, so yeah. You kind of have around a couple months to get like $10 off a product, $15 or more with the Rockstar Store. Or even the Rockstar Games Launcher probably as well. And yeah, see here for details, which is like the Rockstar support article thing. And yeah, individual titles, nothing really new there. Videos, those were the two videos, obviously, basically in between these different like news wires. Little FAQ things, they'll kind of pop them up here. For those who might be curious, I'm not going to go into most details, obviously, with all these, but yeah. And I guess last but not least, kind of to talk about the Rockstar support thing here. And yeah, kind of found a Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, Rockstar Store offer FAQ, whatever. And yeah, most of it's pretty self-explanatory, so I'll probably go over a couple to few highlights of it or whatever. I'll let, for the most part, people read them as is on the screen and all. But yeah. When will it be activated for PC? Digital PC version, obviously, since it's in the like form of a receipt, you can pretty much download it kind of when you first get it or whatever. It will be active immediately after purchasing. And obviously for physical copies, once they get shipped, it will be active then. So that's kind of something important to know, is that digital PC, it will be active right away. If you get a physical version, then yeah, it will be different. And again, physical copy of the PS4 or Xbox versions, that's weird. Again, no mention of PS5. They say Xbox versions, which mentions obviously all the like current Xbox versions as well as the Xbox One, which is back in 8th generation, obviously. But they're not listing a 9th generation PS5, so like what's going on with the PS5 with like a physical copy? I don't know what's going on with that. And yeah, when it will end, pretty obvious. I think that was already in earlier on this newswire, or the support article here, obviously. How does it work? I think that should be pretty obvious stuff. Here's the discount values for different stuff. I'll kind of try to slowly go through it in a way, for those who might be in like different countries and stuff like that. Kind of goes on for a bit there. Where can you see it? Should be pretty like obvious, kind of something kind of worth bringing up here. If you return a product, if you've already used it, you won't be able to use the same discount on another purchase. So if you use it on something you don't like, whatever you got for some reason, you decide to return it, you will not get it back essentially. So make sure whatever you use it on, you really super want essentially. Obviously term stuff here. And yeah, for the very particular time that it ends, it's going to be in the New York City, USA time, or essentially like Eastern Standard Time, I believe, essentially, is what time you have until for the January 17th, 2022 expiration, whatever. And then, yeah, obviously just one per social club account. But yeah, we got quite a bit of information in some ways. So yeah, hopefully I didn't talk about a lot of points for too long and stuff like that, but yeah. This is going to be my attempt for sure on this video here. So that is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.